Hello everyone, 27th of May. It is Tuesday, our first live session for this week. Obviously, we've got another one on Thursday, um, but we've also got something going on here on the majors. So in the past few days, price has been moving just as expected. For those of you who have seen um, some of my previous videos or my last live session, I think, which I did last week. We did talk about this continuation on the trend here on euro dollar and pound dollar, and even on gold, and everything um, you know, has played out very well, just as expected. But we're gonna come back to the charts in just a couple of minutes. So I'm gonna have to wait for a few more people to join in, and then we're gonna carry on with the technical analysis. Okay. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed already, make sure to do so. Like I just said, I'm doing a couple of live sessions every week. Like I just said, every Tuesday and every Thursday as well. And not only that, but there are more videos coming out as well. I have prepared some videos on smart money, another video where I explain this type of setup right here, which I actually promised during one of my live sessions that I'm going to do one of those videos. And it's over a 10-minute long video, but I'm explaining exactly how this setup works and why it works so well. Um, So I think it's going to be very beneficial for those of you who are still looking for a trading strategy, right? I mean, there are a ton of strategies out there, but this one is very simple. So just a few simple steps to follow, and you're going to be able to find really good trades, really good trading opportunities across the instruments that you trade. Okay, I'm just sending out a quick message on Twitter and in our free Telegram channel. Also, if you haven't joined the free Telegram channel, make sure to do so. There's more and more valuable content there, completely for free, by the way. Right. So just a quick message on Telegram, and we are pretty much done with this task. And then we can move on to the chart, right? I think everything is running smoothly. I think I can hear myself here on the other screen, so you should be able to hear me as well. But if there are any issues with the stream or with the connection, please let me know. Um, just to make sure everything is running good. Here we go. Message sent. And once again, we're gonna do the same thing here on Twitter. All right. So, just as usual, we're going to check out euro dollar. We're going to have a look at pound dollar and gold as well. And by the way, something going on euro yen and pound yen also. But it will most likely take a bit more time for this setup to develop. But right here, we've got exactly the setup that I like to see in order to take an entry. The thing is, that setup is on the 1 hour time frame. So it's not something that we're going to be able to take advantage of during the live sessions, because most of the time I'm only doing this for about 60 minutes each time, and we're actually focusing on the lower time frames. We're looking at the 5, the 15-minute chart, and it's very easy to trade the lower time frames when you have a clear market direction, and of course the market is actually moving in that direction. Now, if let's say you have a bullish market but price is in a pullback, so you drop down to a lower time frame and you have a bearish price action, even though you're only looking for long trades, well, in that case it's probably best to wait out, and then as soon as you see that reversal happening on the higher time frame, you can then drop down to a lower time frame and start looking for trades within the trend, right? Now, it really depends on how much of a pullback you're expecting. Because if you have a major level and you are in a bullish trend, but say, for example, you're expecting quite a big pullback, okay? Well, then in that case, of course, if you want to, and if your strategy, if your trading plan allows it, you can drop down to, let's say, the 5 or the 15-minute chart, and you can start looking for trades against the main trend. Now, I wouldn't recommend this for newbies or for someone who's still learning how to do it. Um, but I guess most of you guys, if you're watching those live sessions, you may have some success already, but you're still looking for a little bit of guidance, or you're still looking for those tips that's going to improve your trading. So this is something very, very important, I would say. Okay, and I'll tell you exactly what I mean in just a minute. So should we start from the, no, in fact, we're going to start off with the majors right here with euro dollar. Now, if you look at the 1 hour chart, like I said in the beginning of the session, right, it's euro dollar has been doing exactly what we expected it to do. Okay, now this setup right here is something that I've explained multiple times, and again, like I said in the beginning of the session, I've actually done a video on that, over a 10-minute long video where I'm explaining setups like this. Okay, and so this is a very powerful setup. Now, the last time that happened, even back here, I did say that we're most likely going to see a continuation to the upside. As long as we take those lows out, we will have an entry right here. And then we can expect for price to not only reach the previous high, the most recent high that we had at that time, not only that, but also to break above that and continue higher. Because remember, our idea was from the higher time frames. Okay, first we saw that bounce off right here from that previous price action. Okay, so we had previous structure. We were expecting that this trend will continue to the upside, and we did have quite a big of a pullback, but eventually we reached that important level right here. So we were expecting that if we have a bounce off, a strong price action to the upside, exactly what we had right here, we're most likely going to continue higher. Okay, so as you can see, we're now trading at the previous highs. Right now, um what else do we have? We have price not only reaching the most recent high at that time, but also breaking above that. We then have another break and retest setup right here. Okay, with price breaking above this previous structure, then pulling back to the previous highs, and then pushing back to the upside again. All right, so I was looking at this price action right here, and that was on Friday. So we did form a higher low right here, higher than those previous lows. Okay, and then we pushed back to the upside. Now, as soon as we reached this most recent high that we had at that time, we had a rejection. And maybe if I zoom the chart in, we can see that slightly better, right? Right here. And we had a strong rejection with a strong bearish candle. Okay, So then I thought we're most likely going to see another pullback to take out this low. And then, at some point we would have been looking for a reversal. Now that would have given us a really good entry. Instead of that though, as you can see, we broke above this market structure right here, above that resistance. So we're now looking at price action, which is higher. Now, again, if we look at the 1 hour time frame though, even the 4 hour chart, just check this out. We are currently trading at a pretty strong resistance area. We have this previous high, and we also have this previous high. Okay, so right around the level of 1.14. Okay, so let's call it this number. Now, right here, if we have bearish price action coming in, which means, technically a reversal, I wouldn't be expecting for the euro dollar to reverse, but actually I would be looking for, some sort of a pullback here. And during that pullback, I'm most likely not going to be looking for trades. Okay, so when it comes to pullbacks, well, we've got this previous low around 1.1260, 1.1280. Okay, but we can also, technically create a higher low to continue the trend again. Now, because we are in a pullback, that means right now I'm not looking for any entries. So if we drop down to a 5 or the 15-minute chart, we can already see that a bearish movement has occurred. Okay, so we have this high, we then have price pushing down. For now, we're still bullish. Okay, then we have our first sign, which is technically a lower high than this one. And now we're breaking below this structure right here, okay, with quite a strong momentum. So I feel like we may see further continuation to the downside. But like I said, it doesn't mean I'm going to be looking for short trades. It only means that we're most likely into a pullback. And we just need to find out what are the next levels of that pullback, where can price potentially go to, so we can start looking for buying opportunities again. Because overall, if you look at the higher time frames, we are in a bullish trend. So that means looking for long trades only will result in more winning trades, more profitable trades. So it is as simple as that. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that right now entering long is probably not the best idea. Now, what could happen as well, of course, we never know what's going to happen. It's just we're looking at the probabilities. There is a high probability that this is going to happen. Well, then I'm going to react in a certain way, right? So I think because we've got this kind of a bearish price action and it looks like we're gaining momentum to the downside as well, I think there is a higher probability that we're going to continue to the downside. Okay, and again, we're going to be looking for price to create a higher low. But even if it comes back for a retest of this low, I'm still not going to be expecting for the market to fully reverse the trend. Okay, but anyways, because I feel like there's a higher probability that price will continue dropping, that means I'm not going to be looking for the long trades. Now, what could happen is, well, we can see price reversing right around here. Okay, remember, we've also got this level. Okay, so that could be the pullback level that we're looking for, because technically this is another one of those break and retest trades. And those trades still work to this day. It is a very simple strategy, but again, it still works. And you can see it happening time and time again. Exactly the same thing here, right? We have break and retest. We've actually got a very strong level here. As you can see, we have reacted to that level multiple times. So as soon as price came back to that level, we had this buy zone right here, okay? And this is exactly where price action reversed. And it then pushed back to the upside, breaking above this previous structure. So this is pretty much what I'm expecting to see on euro dollar, further continuation to the downside. So for now, I'm not looking for long trades, okay? And if you currently hold any long trades from before, it really depends where is your stop loss. But what I would say is if you're not feeling confident, well then either close most of your trade, like 80% of your trade, or close the full trade, and definitely make sure to move your stops to break even and maybe even lock in profit if you could, right? Okay, moving on to pound dollar, where price action is again stronger when it comes to the bullish side of things. Um, but just look at the setup on the 15-minute time frame on euro dollar. Just look at that whole picture. And then when I switch over to, so that was euro dollar. And then when I switch over to pound dollar, we have exactly the same thing. The only difference is that euro dollar is already breaking below this structure while pound dollar has not. But this is normal. This is normal because pound dollar is stronger when it comes to bearish price action. So it will take a little bit more time for pound dollar to break below that. Okay, but definitely very similar setup to what we have on euro dollar. you know See, I was expecting the same setup right here. So we have equal structure. Really wanted to see price dropping slightly below that and then giving us that reversal, and we basically have this right here. Okay, so we have equal structure, price drops below that structure, but it then quickly recovers. And these are the setups that I'm looking for most of the time. I did have someone asking me during one of our last um, previous live sessions, what is my go-to setup? And this is exactly what it is. Okay, and I've explained it many times, but of course, this is why I do those live sessions. And every time we may have new people joining in. So, if I repeat myself, forgive me, but this is why I do it, right? Okay, when I look at the 1 hour time frame on pound dollar, we have quite a strong signals that price will potentially continue to the downside for now. All right, at least we're going to see some more bearish price action. All right, obviously we've got this engulfing candle. Okay, we then have this lower high, then we have a strong bearish candle, and then we also have this massive rejection right here. Okay, and a strong bearish candle closing down here. So I feel like we're going to see a continuation to the downside. Now, if I am very, very aggressive trader, that means I can look on the 5 minute time frame. I can look for price to either reject this high or maybe even create a lower high and then continue to the downside. That would be a setup I would be looking for if I must take a trade. Of course, no one is forcing you, and I wouldn't do it, but I'm just saying if I must take a trade, well then this would be the trade that I'll be looking for right now. And then we move on to gold. I know a lot of you guys are trading gold, but this is what I said in the video about 2 hours prior to our live session today. Um, this is what I said in the video for our premium Telegram members. The setup that we have here on the 1 hour time frame on gold is very similar to the one on euro dollar and pound dollar. So what do you guys think that means? Well, it means I'm looking for the same thing. I'm expecting it pull back here, and I'm actually a little bit surprised that the pullback is much stronger here on gold rather than on euro dollar. This is the 1 hour time frame, and this is the 1 hour price action that we have on euro dollar, and then this is what we have on gold. We're already melting. Okay, so obviously the first level to watch out for would be down here. It's really an area, not exactly a level, but we are approaching this previous low on the 1 hour chart. But I feel like we may even break below that. But remember, even if we do, then this is not, it doesn't mean that we're reversing the trend. If we have to be looking for a major low, where if price breaks below that low, then the trend is technically reversed. Well, to be honest, this is going to be the level of, around 3,125, which is this previous low. This is the major low right now. Okay. So basically, 3,130, right around there, 3,120. This is that major low where if price breaks below that, well, that may mean that we're maybe reversing the whole trend. All right. So if we break below this low, the most recent one here, it doesn't mean anything. It only means that we're going to have better entry levels to the upside. Okay. But it doesn't mean that we have to switch our bias. And this is very important to know. I feel like a lot of people still get it wrong because when you watch a course, or if you watch videos on YouTube on when do we know if the trend has reversed, everybody will say, well, you have to be looking at the previous low, the most recent low or high. And if we break below that in the opposite direction, well, that means we're reversing the trend. No, it's not exactly like that. I mean, this is the idea of how the trend works, but it's not exactly like that. Because if you look at the 4-hour time frame, where do you think more orders have came into the market? Okay, so let me just zoom out. Where do you think we have more orders coming into the market? Which area do you think is more significant? Well, if I'm looking at, when it comes to buying opportunities, okay, from which level you want to be looking to buy if price drops there? Well, obviously right here, it's a very important level and a lot more significant one than, let's say, this one, okay? Because as you can see from this level down here, we've got this afterwards, we've got this move, a massive move to the upside, right? So we managed to, before that, we broke below all that structure if you look to the left, but then a lot more buyers have came into the market right here around that level to be able to push the price all the way back up here, all right? And then what else? Well, right here, from the beginning of this point, we've got this massive uptrend, basically a momentum that we have on the 4-hour chart. So this is how you pick those strong levels. Also, if you look to sell, well, then this right here and this right here, these are our major highs, right? It's not this or this or this or this, because technically if you drop down to a lower time frame, this is what we have right here. So these are technically still highs, and we still have lows right here, but they're not as significant as those ones that we can clearly see as soon as we open up the chart. Okay, if that makes sense. You guys let me know if that makes sense in the comment section. I know some of you guys, I mean, you know how the trend works, but trust me, I still get every now and then someone asking me, well, has the trend reversed? Are we now looking to sell or are we now looking to buy? And I open up the chart and, I see that we've had a breakout above or below a minor structure. So I know a lot of people don't make the difference between a minor and a major structure. But anyways, okay, coming back to current price action, this is the 1-hour time frame. Like I said, so because we're approaching and we're about to test this area of the previous low right here, we're most likely going to see some reaction. All right, we may see price going back to the upside, but remember, I am expecting that this pullback may continue lower. Okay, it really depends what kind of reaction we got here on the 4-hour chart. Then we're going to be able to kind of recognize if we actually are going to see a continuation to the upside, or if this is going to be just price action slowing down for a little bit and then breaking below the structure. Okay, so we're going to have to give it a bit more time. But if I drop down to a 15 or a 5-minute time frame, I don't really have any trading opportunities right now. Of course, like I said, because of that reaction that we're most likely going to see on the 4-hour chart, we may see kind of a reversal happening right here on the 15-minute time frame, right? So if you want to give it a try, you can, but use an aggressive stop loss, okay, and do not risk as much as you would risk if you have an A plus setup, because this is not an A plus setup, okay. And as soon as price goes in your favor, you have to move your stop loss to break even, to make sure that if the pullback from the 1-hour time frame will continue to the downside and price comes back to your entry on the 15-minute time frame, you want to get out of this trade at no loss, okay, because now you have a pullback happening on the higher time frame. So even if you take that entry, even if you take that buy entry, if price actually comes back to your entry, well, that probably means you're going to see that continuation here on the 15-minute time frame. So you don't want to be in a long trade, right? if you find those live sessions helpful, I think you're really going to benefit from, joining the premium Telegram channel, because you will get information like this in a 10-minute long video, maybe even less sometimes, where I'm going to give you the setups for the day ahead on multiple instruments, not just those ones that we look at during the live sessions, but also we've got cross pairs. Okay, so we currently have other trading opportunities that we look at in our premium channel, which obviously I don't mention right here because we're looking at the lower time frames. So I'm just focusing on a couple of pairs, mainly euro dollar, pound dollar, and gold. But we also look at euro pound, we also look at Bitcoin, we also look at pound Aussie, euro Aussie, Aussie dollar, other pairs like that, which are very, very common. And I share the setups on those instruments every single day from Monday to Friday. All of that happens in the premium Telegram channel. And here is my full watch list on, for the premium channel. Okay, moving on to the yen cross pairs. All right, in the beginning of the session, I told you guys that we have a decent setup forming up here on euro yen and pound yen as well, but it's probably going to take a bit more time than I mean, the entry is most likely not going to be today by looking at where we are currently with price action. But the idea here is that we have some equal structure. Okay, now dollar yen is pushing down, and I've been talking about euro yen and pound yen going bearish for a while now. So ideally, I would be looking for price to take out those highs and then at some point a reverse back to the downside. Now, if let's say this is the setup that we're looking at and we already have this price action taking out that equal structure, in this case, what I can do is, for example, I can place my Fibonacci retracement and then look for that 61.8. What does that mean? It means that we're now taking out that structure right here. Then we retest the 61.8 and then we push down. Okay, and then that means we can start looking for selling opportunities from around that level. Of course, first we need to see that reaction, and then we're going to be able to decide whether we should take a trade or not. But this setup right here could turn out to be a very, very good one. And this is euro yen. So the 61.8 is right around 163.62, 63, roughly, right? It's not a specific level. It's much of an area right here, because you can then also place the Fibonacci expansion right here. And then what do you have? You also have the 100% of the Fibonacci expansion just above the 61.8. Okay, so what that means is we can potentially look for trading opportunities slightly above the 61.8 as well. So if I delete that right now, I'm going to have an area from 163.62 up to around 163, or let's say 164. Okay, so anywhere within this area, if I see price pushing up, then giving me some sort of reaction right here, well, then that means I can start looking for selling opportunities from up here. Okay, and by that time, obviously, we would have taken out all that liquidity sitting above that equal structure, because we've got plenty of stop loss orders that are sitting above that structure. Okay, obviously price has reversed right here, has also reversed right here. So where have those sellers placed their stop losses? Okay, just above their entries. So this area, this liquidity pool right here, makes it a very good opportunity for us to potentially take a sell trade. Okay, and I was going to say the same thing on pound yen, but as you can see, we're already, as we speak, we're already breaking above that structure right here. So the 61.8 is going to be quite close, and if euro yen will continue pushing up in order to create that setup for us, that means we're going to come slightly higher than the 61.8 here on pound yen. Okay, So if we look at a similar setup right here, or we can use this most recent ABCD, or basically ABC pattern, and then the D is what, 195. Okay, so this could be the area for pound dollar, excuse me, for pound yen, but I wouldn't be looking to sell pound yen. If I'm going to be looking for that setup, I think it's going to be more likely for me to potentially find a trade here on euro yen rather than pound yen. Okay, but imagine if euro yen will continue pushing up in order to reach this area for us, then that means we're going to have a bullish price action on pound yen as well. And we're nearly testing this area already. Okay, so we may see price coming slightly higher, and then potentially giving us that entry here. But like I said, if I'm going to be taking a sell entry, it's going to be on euro yen, not on pound yen. But mark this setup out on your chart and just follow price action to see what it's going to do. So there is more bearish momentum coming into euro dollar. See, this is exactly what I talked about. This is exactly what I said. I wouldn't be looking to take a buy trade right now. We already recognize what price action is trying to do, and we already decided that there is a higher probability that it will continue higher. And then the next thing we see is another massive drop in price action. But you guys let me know in the comment section, what kind of setups are you looking at? Do you currently have any trades on euro dollar and pound dollar? Or, and by the way, in our free Telegram channel, every single day we share our point of view, our analysis on euro dollar. So you should have known what is going on with euro dollar in the past week, right? So the question is, do you have any trades currently on euro dollar, or did you manage to get into any long trades right here during this price action? I'd love to know if you managed to make some profits. This question is obviously for those of you who have been following the free Telegram channel. If you haven't, make sure to join. There is a link in the description of this stream. And if you're not watching this live, well, check out the description of this video, right? And join the free Telegram channel. And don't forget to check out our website as well, trendlineforex.com. If you're a complete beginner, I truly believe we have probably the best free beginners course. Everything is explained. Even if you don't know a single thing about how the Forex market works, you need to enroll for our free beginners course. All right, you can go over to services. As you can see, we've got the courses section right here. Just click on beginners, right? And then free Forex training for beginners, completely free, 190 minutes duration, 38 video lessons. Okay, so it doesn't cost anything. All you have to do is to drop your email to be able to sign up on our website. As soon as you do, you can then log in into your profile, and then you can go and watch this course. And not only this one, I've said it many times before, we have multiple completely free courses. All right, see, I'm not even telling you you have to pay or something like this. So we have the free Forex training for beginners, all right, completely for free. We also have how to choose a Forex broker, again, completely for free. And by the way, this is not something that you have to it's not, it's not going to teach you how to trade and how to take trades, but it's going to teach you something just as important: how to pick the right forex broker so you don't get scammed. Trust me, I speak with people every day that have been scammed or are currently trying to get out of a scam because they have deposited money into not a regulated broker, not a big player, who has proved themselves as, a solid broker. And there are people losing money every single day because of that, because they don't make the right choice. So this course is going to teach you how to pick the right forex broker. So this is our second course also get funded by a prop firm. I know a lot of you guys are trying to get funded. Well, here is the button. It says start for free, completely free course, which is also going to teach you, you know, a strategy, stop loss, take profit, time frames, which trading instruments to look for, how to execute your strategy, you know, examples of that strategy, all of that completely for free again. Okay, and all you got to do is just sign up on our website. And I believe we also have another free course, not sure which one it was, but right here you can also find the link for the free Telegram channel. Okay, um, and you can click here on Telegram, and then you can join. And by the way, another free thing is our weekly newsletter. Every Monday we send out an email with the best trading opportunities for the week ahead. All right, so make sure to drop your name, drop your email, and then subscribe to that email newsletter. And every Monday you're gonna get updates on which are the best trading opportunities for the week ahead. So you're going to be prepared. As soon as the week starts, you're going to be prepared and you will know which charts to pay more attention to and what are the key levels as well. So I think during one of our live sessions last week, we did have a look at the economic calendar to see what we have for the week, for this week. Um, let's just have a look again. Just waiting for the website to load. And I'm looking at the economic calendar from fxtrade.com. I've been using this one for some time now, so it's you know, I've got used to this one. But there's many others. I used to use the one at investing.com, I think it was the website. But then I moved over to FX Trade. The website is not loading though. Oh, I'm gonna give it a bit more time to load, and yeah, still not loading. Come on, what is going on? Or I'll come back to this one in a couple of minutes, alright? Now, whenever that pullback ends, we're gonna notice that on pound dollar first. So that also means, whenever it's time to again enter long positions, it could be the pound dollar which is going to give us a better entry opportunity. Because just like with the yen pairs, we're going to be looking for euro yen to give us the entry to the downside. If we're going to be going long, then it's going to be the pound dollar. It's probably not going to be the euro dollar. So we've got the 61.8 down at 1.1320, where we also have this previous structure. And so this is where I think we may see, um, price eventually reversing. Of course, I'm not sure. We need to see how it's going to react if it goes down there. But the 61.8, 1.1320 is going to be an interesting level for price action here on euro dollar. All right, obviously we're still pushing down. So I feel like we're going to approach towards 1.1320. I'm not saying that this is where we should start buying, but this is going to be our first level to watch out for, whether price action will do something that's going to, give us a signal for price going in the opposite direction. Um, by that time we will have to have a look at GBP USD as well to see what we have there also. And yeah, let's have a look at the 30-minute candles. Strong 30-minute candles on euro dollar. Same thing on pound dollar, and of course the same thing on gold. So we just had a couple of minutes ago, we had another 15-minute candle closing. Even though it looks like we had a bullish reaction on gold, for now it looks like we're pushing down. So we'll have to see how this 15-minute candle is going to close as well, but it's actually going to be the 1-hour candle that we're going to check out in about, 12 minutes. All right, pretty decent continuation to the upside here on pound yen. We're always approaching this area. Not quite the same thing on euro yen yet, but that's why I said I'm not going to be rushing with any short trades here on the yen cross pairs, because the overall plan is that I want to see price taking out this resistance first, and if it does, then I'm going to be looking for a reversal. But for now, we don't have that, right? So we'll give it a bit more time, see how it goes. Yeah, hopefully gold drops quite a bit. I really want to see kind of a deeper pullback, because then we're going to have a much better entry. Okay, I'm looking at, let's say, around 3,250. That could be a potential level for price to reverse out. First, we need to take out this low. I'm not sure if this is going to happen. We'll see, but especially if we have pullbacks going on the majors, well, then it's going to be much easier for gold to also continue a little bit lower. Okay. So as you can see, I'm not taking any trades to the downside. I'm not selling right now, just because we are in a very strong trend. So even though I'm expecting for this pullback to occur, it doesn't mean I'm going to be trading just because I think something is going to happen, right? So I'm not going to take any sell trades, because at the end of the day, we are in an uptrend. So many times we could have been tricked by price action into thinking that, just like here, right? We have the same thing that we have right now. Okay, we have lower highs, and then price breaks below the structure. So that is usually a sign that we're probably going to continue lower. But as you can see, the trend continued easily back to the upside after that. So I'm not going to rush with those trades, but pound dollar is now pushing even stronger. So we're most likely going to see same thing here on euro dollar. Same thing on gold. But yeah, if you haven't checked out, the live sessions from last week, just go and have a look at them, and you'll see that we talked about this. We said that this week we may be looking for potential pullbacks, not to trade them, but just to be aware of those pullbacks in order to either manage our trades accordingly, if we have any open trades. And that's why, by the way, I did ask you earlier if those of you who are following the free Telegram channel or my live sessions if you guys managed to catch any trades while price was bullish. But then we have to be aware of those pullbacks as well, because we know when to close our trades, right? Or if, let's say, you have a long trade right here and then your stop loss is just below the most recent low, if you know there's going to be a pullback which could potentially take out this most recent low, well then, you know, you're either going to close your trades or at least move your stops to break even. And by that time right now, you would have probably got out of break even, right? But having a signal like this, a strong price action in the opposite direction against your trade, and hoping that it will reverse, and because you don't want to close a break even, because just until now you had some profit, right? Now all of that profit is gone and price is back at zero. Now this is a strong signal in the opposite direction. The best thing you can do is to close your trade at break even and then look for another entry, rather than hoping that it will reverse, and then the next thing you see is that price action continues bearish and it eventually takes you out at a full stop loss. Okay, so that's why this is how I manage my trades. If I have made quite a bit of profit, I would take out a part of that profit as price continues, and I would also move my stop loss to break even. $1.1338 currently for euro dollar. About 20 more pips to the downside in order for price to reach that 1.1320 level, to see what's going to happen afterwards, right? Got about 6 minutes until those 1 hour candle close. But I think it's pretty obvious what we have. We have some bearish momentum going on. Okay, so I think I'm gonna end the session right here. Like I said, I think it's pretty obvious how the 1 hour candle will close. Obviously very bearish. Even more momentum coming into euro dollar and pound dollar, as you can see. So you know, be aware of those pullbacks and don't rush into any trades. Okay, so if you are looking to take a sell trade, well then just keep in mind that we are in a very strong uptrend. So where would that pullback end, you think? This is where you should get out of your trade if you manage to catch a nice entry. Okay, I personally wouldn't be looking to take a sell entry on neither on euro dollar nor pound dollar. Okay, and same thing on gold. I wouldn't be looking to take a sell trade on gold, even though if you look at the 1 hour time frame, I would really love for gold to drop below this low right here and maybe retest the previous highs. If that happens, then I'm going to be looking for that reversal, and I'm only going to be looking for long trades. Okay, you already know what kind of setups we wait for here on euro yen, so I'm not going to go over that again. But yeah, keep all of that in mind, guys. You know, hit the like button on this live session. I'm going to be doing another one on Thursday, which is 29th of May. Okay. And then yes, we're gonna carry on with those live sessions next week as well. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. I've got videos for you coming out, and also check out some of my latest videos, right? Not the live sessions, but the standard videos that we post on here on YouTube. Don't forget to join the free Telegram channel. Like I said, a lot of free content on there. And check out our website as well, trendlineforex.com. Whatever you need when it comes to forex trading, we've got it all covered. Okay. And any questions that you may have, you can text me directly. Just join the free Telegram channel, and this is where you can find, how to chat with me. So I'm open to any questions, whatever you don't understand, whatever you need help with. I'm always here. So let me know, guys. I'll see you in the next live session on Thursday, 29th of May. Okay.